All right, everybody. Just a few minutes ago, Dana White was on the halftime show of the Chiefs versus Cowboys game, and he announced UFC, the entire main card, and some of the prelims of UFC 324, and even the main event of UFC 325. So we are going to go through the fights he just announced, man. He just announced. Let me fix it a little bit so you guys can see it right there. As you can see, main event. Gaethje versus Pimblett for the interim lightweight championship of the world. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes co-main for the bantamweight championship of the world. And Sean O'Malley versus Song Yudong. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. And Gene Silva versus Brendan Allen. I can't think of his first name. Arnold Allen. Man, what a stacked card. We're gonna go through them, plus some others. But we're gonna start off with the main event. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. I'm gonna fix the screen for you guys a little bit so you guys can even see some of the comments. I'm going to go with Paddy Pimblett here. This is a great matchup, though. I don't know why Arman Tashrukian isn't in here. Maybe they have something planned for him. Maybe. I don't even know if you can do... Because if you have a winner of this fight, and then you have an interim champion, can you really then do Arman versus Ilya before you do Ilya versus the winner of this? Doesn't really make any sense, because when you're the interim champion, even if you shouldn't be next, if you happen to become the interim champion, you have to be next for the title. You have to be next to challenge the undisputed champion. That is how the interim belt works. So I'm a bit confused with what they're gonna do with Arman, but I was low key expecting this to be for the vacated undisputed belt, because Ilya did say something about letting the division move on. So I'm thinking, whoa, hold on now. But this is a crazy matchup, man. I'm going to be honest with you, because Gaethje's obviously a hard hitter on the feet, man. And he's not the easiest guy to take down, but once you have him down, you can kind of do what you want. Especially, or at least that's what we've seen, when Gaethje does end up on his back. So I don't know if this is the matchup I would have done. I would have done Paddy versus Arman if you're going to do an interim. But I guess, there's a potential Arman said no because he wants to wait for Ilya, which, fair enough, he should be next. But we're going to have an interim champ here soon. So I don't know. I really don't know. But I do have Paddy Pimblett here. I think that his striking is very underrated. Not that it's better than Gaethje's, because it's not. It's definitely not. But his striking is underrated, and I don't see Gaethje chinning Paddy immediately into the fight, especially with the way Paddy floats on the outside. Even though Gaethje is very good at cutting off the cage for people who do foot on the outside, so I actually would very heavily advise Paddy to not strike here at all, because Gaethje is just really good against those kind of range strikers. These strikers that get up close into the void is who really gives Gaethje his issues. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Paddy Pimblett here. I do think that he will be able to take Justin Gaethje down. I think he's stronger than Justin Gaethje. Obviously, his grappling is better. I do think he'll be able to get Gaethje down, and I think he'll submit him in round 1. I do. I think he'll take down Justin Gaethje. He won't get an immediate sub, but he'll soften him up with some ground and pound like he did with Chandler. And Gaethje will do what he always does and expose the neck. And I do think we'll see a rare naked choke here by Paddy Pimblett after some ground and pound. If I'm Paddy, man, no chance I'm letting Gaethje land anything on me. We've seen Paddy hurt in the UFC. I definitely would not want to see him get hit with a shot by Justin Gaethje of all people. So, but I do think Paddy Pimblett's going to win this by submission in round 1. But this is a good fight. I've wanted this fight for a while. for a while. I remember back like 2 years ago, I was being ridiculed online for saying that I think Patty beats Justin Gaethje. So, yep, a lot of people were hating on me, but when we see Patty win, what now? Next fight is the co-main event: Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes is coming back from retirement. This one's a bit difficult for me. This is a good fight, though. We knew that this was the fight that was going to happen. Let's be real here. People were talking about this way before Kayla came over to the UFC. Wait, hold on. Can you see that? You can see that Kayla picture that somebody had posted halfway on there. But I feel like I want to lean Amanda Nunes, if I'm being honest with you, because grappling Amanda Nunes offensively, has it ever really happened? I mean, other than getting submitted by Juliana Pena, which was an awful look, don't get me wrong, but Amanda Nunes righted that wrong in the rematch. Showed that she was a million levels above, and that Juliana Pena genuinely didn't have anything for her. But I just feel like I want to go with Amanda Nunes here because I just don't really know if you can offensively grapple Amanda Nunes. She's just too good, strong, and big. And I think the striking is pretty one-sided here. I mean, Amanda Nunes can genuinely strike. She's obviously she's had some iffy-looking moments on the feet in her career, like getting hurt by Juliana Pena, which Kayla Harrison didn't do. But I mean, Amanda Nunes knocked out Holly Holm on the feet, went toe-to-toe twice with Valentina Shevchenko, even though I thought Nunes lost the second fight. She knocked out Chris Cyborg up a weight class in seconds on the feet. I mean, Amanda Nunes she is a generational talent. She is, arguably the greatest woman fighter of all time. I think Weili Zhang would have taken that had she beaten Valentina Shevchenko, but she didn't. So it's probably still Amanda Nunes, and I know that Kayla Harrison's good and she's strong, probably stronger, but Amanda Nunes is just a bit too well-rounded, and I don't think that Kayla Harrison's going to be able to... She will be able to take down Amanda Nunes, 100%. Will she get a submission on Amanda Nunes, though? I doubt it. I do doubt it. Because I know that Juliana Pena, even in the rematch, had like a few submission attempts locked in on Amanda Nunes, but she was doing them off bottom. Kayla Harrison isn't throwing up any submissions off bottom. I'm sorry, but she's not. So I think I'm gonna go Amanda Nunes, but I'm not 100% sold on this one yet. I'm not sold. Moving on. Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Man, I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley, and that really hurts to say because Song Yadong is my favorite bantamweight. Well, I guess technically now my second because Charles Jourdain is a bantamweight now. But of the ranked guys, Song Yadong is my favorite. He's been my favorite ever since Marlon Moraes retired from the UFC. He was my favorite for a while. But I just think that Sean O'Malley, man. I mean, you can say what you want about Sean O'Malley. Lost to Merab twice, got submitted by Merab. Who gets finished by Merab? This, that. Sean O'Malley just genuinely is the best striker in the entire division. He just is. And he's way too clean, and he's so fast. I really worry for Song Yadong, who doesn't have the speed of... Song is very fast, and Song is much more powerful than Sean O'Malley, so there's something there. And Song Yadong can grapple better than Sean O'Malley can, so maybe if Song Yadong comes into this with the game plan of grappling, that he could win. especially because I do think that Corey Sandhagen has better grappling than Sean O'Malley. And Song Yudong did decent in the grappling against Corey Sandhagen, did he not? I'm just gonna look up those stats real quick on my phone. I feel like he took down Corey a few times. Just want to check. He did. He went 2 for 2. Song Yudong got 100% takedown percentage on Corey Sandhagen, man. And I think that Corey is just better at that than Sean O'Malley. So maybe if Song Yudong can mix in some grappling. But even just on the feet, I just see Sean O'Malley. I don't see Sean O'Malley getting a knockout here. I'm just going to be real. Song Yudong is pretty much unKOable from what we've seen. And he is super tough and durable. And he can take anything that anyone gives him. So, but I do think that we're going to see Sean O'Malley have a lot of pull counters. I do see Sean O'Malley messing up Song Yudong's face. I'm talking like this. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if this fight ends for a doctor stoppage TKO for Sean O'Malley because they had to stop the fight for a cut that Song Yudong has in between rounds. Because Sean is way too clean, I think, for Song Yudong. I think Song Yudong, because Song Yudong likes to blitz. He loves to blitz. That's his thing. Sean is going to be expecting that. When Song blitzes, I can see Sean every time dropping a right hand right down the pipe through the guard of Song Yudong, just slicing him up with straight shots, pull counters, knees, spinning attacks, elbows. I can see him bludgeoning the face of Song Yudong and getting this fight called to a doctor stoppage because Sean O'Malley's just that clean. He's that clean. He just is that clean. And these are two guys I never pick against. I've never picked against Song Yudong yet. And have I ever picked against Sean O'Malley? I don't believe I have. So this will probably be the first time that I ever pick against either of these men. Whoever I decide to go with. Right now, I'm leaning Sean O'Malley, but that might change because now that I'm talking about this fight out loud, I am seeing paths to victory for Song Yudong. I'm just nervous for him, man, because I know how good Sean O'Malley is. I know how fast he is, how sharp he is. And he has a great coach. I think Tim Welch is actually an amazing coach. Man, this is an amazing fight, man. I think I'm leaning Sean O'Malley. But we're going to move on. I don't want this video to be too long. Arnold Allen versus John Silva. I'm going John Silva. And my prediction is simple. I don't think Arnold Allen is dangerous enough for Gene Silva. Diego Lopez beat John Silva not because he's technically better than him, not because he's more powerful than him, he could be, but because he does have power that makes Gene Silva have to worry, and he has wildness to the degree that John Silva doesn't necessarily know what's coming next. You know what's coming when you fight Arnold Allen. You know what's coming. You know? And I don't think that Arnold Allen has what it takes to stop Gene Silva. I'm just going to be real. You have to have some sort of danger factor. You have to have some good level of power and wildness to where it makes Gene Silva question you in the octagon. And I don't see that here. Yeah. But yeah, Silva can impose his will and impose his game plan without having to worry about what Arnold Allen is going to do in return to him. That's really the only thing I can say about this matchup. I've said that same thing like 5 times in different ways. But I just think that's it. I think that John Silva is a better fighter. He's a better grappler. Um, Whoever you think is better technically on the feet, I think it could go either way. But John Silva has the power advantage on the feet as well. He has the wild style. He has the, he just has the it factor here. Arnold Allen is good. He really is. And I do think that Arnold Allen beat Movsarflov. I actually scored that fight for Arnold Allen. So that is very, very impressive. But Arnold Allen just doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the style to beat John Silva. And that's just that's all it really comes down to. I'm taking John Silva by knockout. Late rounds knockout, though, because Arnold Allen is a tough customer, if you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. But I do think he'll get a knockout here. Gene Silva needs a comeback after his last fight. Getting knocked out by Diego Lopez. And we'll get to him in a minute. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. I gotta go Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think he's too clean of a striker. And the one thing that really has me picking Waldo here is the chin. Waldo Cortez Acosta is one of the most durable heavyweights on the entire roster. Took shots off of some of the hardest hitters in the division. Took hits off of Sergey Pavlovich. Went to a decision against Sergey Pavlovich. If you go to a decision against Sergey Pavlovich and beat him, that's one thing. Because he clearly didn't hit you enough. Waldo Cortez Acosta went to a decision and lost to Sergey Pavlovich. And you might be asking, why am I gassing up a loss? He lost, yeah, but that means he ate enough shots off of Sergey Pavlovich to lose the fight by decision. That shows a great chin. And he even took some shots off of, what's that one dude? Real tall Spanish guy. Who got cut and went to karate combat. I'm not going to remember his name. I believe he took a few good shots off of him as well. Nasty. Waldo's chin is nasty. His power is nasty. His boxing is nasty. His composure is nasty. Waldo is simply just a good fighter, and he's a good heavyweight. He's not even just a good heavyweight. He's just a good fighter in general. And Derek Lewis is probably going to get slimed out here. I want Derek to win, but let's be real here. He is probably going to get slimed out. I know that Derek Lewis is generally a really great underdog to pick if he's an underdog against an up-and-coming heavyweight prospect, because he does tend to sleep those guys like Taliesin Teixeira and Nascimento, I think was his name, and that one dude that he hit a flying knee on, De Lima, I believe his name was. But I just think that Waldo Cortez Acosta is levels above all those guys. I think Waldo would sleep Taliesin Teixeira as well. Sleep De Lima. Sleep, Nascimento. And I think that Waldo's boxing is much cleaner. And clearly he's fighting for something. He's got 9 kids. Nueve hijos. He's got 9 of them. Well, I don't know if they're all boys, but he's got something to fight for as well. Derek Lewis, he's had his career. I'm going to be honest with you. He's had his career. He's not going to be as hungry as well as Waldo Cortez Acosta will. So I'm going with Waldo. In round 1 knockout. Alexa Grasso versus Rose Namajunas. I don't really know. I don't know if I really care. Rose Namajunas probably, just because of the grappling aspect. Alexa Grasso doesn't. She has good boxing, but she doesn't have the power to make anybody in the world fear her boxing. So it's not like Alexa Grasso is going to hurt or even... It's not like Alexa Grasso is going to sleep or even hurt Rose Namajunas. And Rose Namajunas has good striking as well. And can probably, honestly, take this to the ground on will and beat her up. So I will be going with Rose Namajunas, I think. Grasso just really doesn't have much to her game, but decent technical boxing. But she's got no finishing ability. So yeah. Moving on. Ateba Gutierrez versus Andre Puliev. I believe Andre Puliev's last fight was against Nick Klein, if I'm right. By a body shot, or body kick TKO, yeah. I got Ateba Gutierrez here. Ateba is he's a pretty decent striker, to be honest with you. He is a good striker, and obviously he's kind of being promoted as the Ngannou of the middleweight division because he does have a lot of power in his hands. He is sleeping on a lot of guys, but the guys come into question. I mean, Tristan Vines. I mean, come on. Um, what's his name? Daniel Pineda. Did he knock out Daniel Pineda? Or is that guy? Or is Daniel Pineda that featherweight? Let me just make sure real quick. Because I don't want to, act a fool on here, to be honest with you. Man, I don't know if I can. Ateba Gutierrez. Last fight. Oh, he does train with Sean Strickland, doesn't he? Okay, he KO'd Robert Valentin. I mean, how much are we really rating that win right now, right? Jose Medina. Jose Medina's who he knocked out. I said Daniel Pineda. I think that is that featherweight who fought Nathaniel Wood. But I'm gonna go with Ateba Gutierrez just because I'm believing in the hype. I'm gonna sit here and believe in the hype of Ateba Gutierrez. This is a bit of a step up, though. I will be honest. From Tristan Vines and Robert Valentin, Andre Puliev is a step up. I think Andre Puliev even fought. Did he fight Gregory Robocop Rodriguez? Am I off? He did, didn't he? Let me just pull him up real quick just to make sure. I do think he fought RoboCop. I believe he did. No, he fought Christian Leroy Duncan. Never mind. He fought Christian Leroy Duncan and went to a decision against Christian Leroy Duncan. I think Christian Leroy Duncan would beat Ateba Gutierrez as well, if not sleep him. So that's actually pretty impressive. I believe it was also short notice as well for Andre Puliev, wasn't it? Nick Klein is who he did beat, yeah. I'm still going to go with Ateba Gutierrez, but if Andre Puliev is a massive underdog here, I'm telling you, there's bound to be some value on Andre Puliev. So, but I am going to go with Ateba Gutierrez. Moving on. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davidson Figueiredo. Fuck, man. I would really love to see Davidson Figueiredo win this one, but I just don't know if he will. Umar, I will say, I really do applaud the activeness of Umar Nurmagomedov. I do like it, and I'm giving him props right here, right now. I love it. I love activeness. I love activity. He fought in January, lost. And then he fought. If he didn't fight Mario Batista, it'd be about a year away. Then I wouldn't be saying the same thing. But he fought Mario Batista in October, September, and he's already back in January. I feel like I just watched him fight Mario Batista. So for him to already be back against Davidson Figueiredo, former champion, I'm really liking it. I will say though, I can definitely see this because I don't see Umar Nurmagomedov doing much damage. I think Umar is going to win a damageless, unanimous decision. But I'm going to say this right here, right now. For the record, I can definitely see a scenario in which Umar Nurmagomedov wins a unanimous decision. 29-28, maybe one scorecard reading 30-27. Where we're low-key saying Davison did more damage. He probably should have won. Like, I can see that scenario. I can see that happening. Because it is hard to grapple Figueiredo, and I do think that Figueiredo will be better on the feet. But I do think Umar is good enough to get Figgy down to the ground. And I can just definitely see a scenario in which we're saying, I think Figueiredo should have won based on damage, just damage-based scoring. But we'll see. Umar Umar Nurmagomedov is a good striker himself. Karate style striker he is a little bit, with amazing grappling. He's a really good wrestler. As much as I hate to admit it. He did just beat Mario Batista very convincingly, but he did get dropped, and that's something that we have to talk about. He's been dropped, 3 times in the UFC? He got dropped by Bekzat Almacan, dropped by Mario Batista. Did he get dropped? He didn't get dropped by... He didn't get dropped by Merab. No, he didn't. But he did get stung a few times. But it was in like round 4 and 5 that he was getting stung, not early rounds, so I'm not putting too much stock into it. That's just what Merab does to people. And he almost TKO'd Corey Sandhagen on the feet. So, we're going to have to just accept that Merab is a good, powerful striker. But, Davidson Figueiredo, you know what I can really see here from Figueiredo? I can honestly see him pulling this off in a razor close win. I don't think he will, though, because he is a guillotine merchant. And I can definitely see Umar going for takedowns and Davison trying to jump guillotines every time and end up on bottom. And then finding it hard to get back up to the feet in enough time to take the round. Davison Figueiredo is a guillotine. He is a bit of a guillotine merchant. And to be fair, he does have a lot of them. He has like 2 guillotines against Alex Perez, right? And he has a guillotine versus... No, and he had a rear naked choke against Benavidez. But he does have a few guillotines in his career. I just think that Umar is just too good for a guillotine. Any submission. I don't think we'll ever see Umar lose by submission his entire career. So it's not something that Umar fans or Dagestani fans have to worry about. What they do have to worry about, though, is possibly getting chinned by Figueiredo because he is a powerful puncher, or getting damaged enough to lose at least 2 rounds. But I do think that Umar is going to be able to pull this off by Figgy jumping guillotines on takedown attempts and end up on bottom. And Umar is good at keeping you on bottom if you're already there. So, yeah. And then we also got Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez 2, which I heavily disagree with. Oh, wow. My camera is now dark. I heavily disagree with, if I'm being honest with you. Wait, I believe Big Marcel posted a new... I believe he posted about the Diego Lopez Volkanovski fight. I could just use this one. Yes, he did. Alright, I'm going to just use this one instead. Okay, I don't agree with this. I think it should have been either Movsar Evloev or Lerone Murphy. Maybe you can do Lerone versus Evloev now for the winner of this one. But this one's tough because I did pick Volkanovski in the first fight. I did. I picked Alexander Volkanovski to win, and he did. I actually called that fight perfectly. I said that Lopez would drop him, but Volk would win the fight. Do I really trust Volk to not get chinned if you give Diego Lopez another 25 minutes to catch him? Man. This is crazy because Volk hasn't fought since their last fight, so Volk's going to fight Diego Lopez 2 times in a row. And Diego Lopez already went out there and fought and finished Gene Silva, so he's had some other looks in the division. He's had another training camp as well. I don't know who I'm taking here. I genuinely don't. Because do I really want to pick Volk again? I do think that Volk is better and he can definitely win again. I don't trust. I don't know if you can give Diego Lopez another 25 minutes and that he won't finish you. I don't think Diego can win this fight by decision. It's got to be by knockout. It can't even be by submission. So it's got to be by knockout. And I got to imagine that Diego Lopez seen some things in the first fight that he wasn't able to capitalize on that he'll probably be able to capitalize on in the rematch. But Volk, man, is just so good at just staying out of range, low kicking, destroying your leg, jabbing. He's just a good striker. He's such a beautiful striker, Volkanovski. I don't know. I really don't know. You know what I can see though? This is on a Australian card. So I can actually see this being the co-main. I know it says main event there in the tags, but I can actually see them adding Alex Botan Pereira versus Carlos Ulberg on this card. Because him and Volk are both city kickboxing. So I could see that happening. And Alex Pereira does not mind going to enemy territory to defend his belt. He's done it before. Um, I'm going to actually go with Diego Lopez in this rematch, I think. I just think he's too dangerous. And the reason that I picked Volk in the first fight was because I knew that Lopez was still dangerous, but Lopez had never been in there with Volk. And Volk has been in there with other crazy styles. Whereas Lopez had never been in there with anyone as skilled as Volk. So Volk had already been in a situation like that, whereas Lopez hasn't. But now that Lopez has been in a situation like that, he has actually fought Volkanovski before, even though he lost. I have to believe that Diego Lopez was downloading data for a potential rematch, regardless if it was next or not. And I can see Diego Lopez getting it done in this rematch. I really can. I think I'm going to go with Diego Lopez here. I hate to say this because I love Volkanovski, but I'm just going to say this. If you can chin Gian Silva, you can chin Alexander Volkanovski. And when I say that, I'm not saying that Gian Silva is better than Volkanovski because he's not. I'm just talking about it in terms of the chin. I think Gian Silva is more durable than Volkanovski is at this point in their careers. That's my PlayStation. And even though it is going to be harder to touch the chin of Volkanovski, Lopez got so close in that first fight. Dropped him at the end of round 2. And I have to imagine Lopez is going to find it earlier in this fight. He's going to do it better than Topuria, is what I fear might happen. So, and Volk's only getting older. He is like 36, 37, right? Alright, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I guess that does it for the fights. How long is this video? It is 33 minutes. That's decent. I just wanted to come on here and talk about the fights I just got announced and released and all that. Hey, Paramount's getting a sick first numbered event. I don't think they're called pay-per-views anymore. I think they're called numbered events. Sick first numbered event. I'm excited. I knew this was gonna be crazy as soon as I found out that Dana White was announcing it during the halftime show. But yeah, I'm gonna go up and get out of here. Love this card. I'm excited. So, yeah. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this card. Do you agree or disagree with the matchups? Do you agree or disagree with any of my predictions? Let me know. I would love to know. See you.